Glorilla dropped an album, and Glorilla is one of the hottest artists. I'll just say artists, hip hop artists, period, right now. She's the one everyone's putting money into and getting all the promotion right now. That it girl right now. She dropped an album, and she had Kirk Franklin and Maverick City on the album. I listened to the song because I was like, well, what's all the hysteria about? I listened to the song. I thought it was a pretty good song, Q. I'm not going to hold you. I thought it was, I heard, I was like, hey, the song's pretty good. It made sense. Now, caused a lot of ruckus in Christian space. Christian TikTok was in a frenzy. Christian Instagram was in a frenzy. Everybody had their think pieces and their sermons and their preaching and all that. Yeah. I ain't going to hold you, bro. I'm tired of this conversation,
though. I know. It's not new.
It's not new to us. I'm tired of it, bro. I've heard this conversation of whether a Christian artist should collab with a secular artist. The reason why I'm tired of the conversation is because I feel like it's disingenuous. Christian life is very much involved with the world in any other space. But when our musicians do it, we act like it's the worst thing ever. And there's no perspective on it at all. It's just we see it, we don't like it, we go after them. We don't think about, these are real people. Is reading y'all comments and seeing y'all think pieces and doing all that. Y'all think that's going to make her want to come back to God? He's a PK. There's a reason why she's probably not doing gospel music now. Y'all just doing that. And then from Christian artist side, we are not privy to the conversations Maverick City had. We are not privy to the conversations Kirk Franklin had for this song to come together in the first place. I have no idea. There's a lot of things, Q, I'm sure you've done with people. If it had hit the airwaves, people would have looked at you in a crazy way, but without any perspective of how whatever that came together. Say all of that to say is, man, I've never had an issue with Christian and secular collabs. I feel like it is a layup for a Christian to have artists do these collabs because it allows us to have talking points when we are talking to people that are outside of the faith. I've always looked at it as some sort of a gospel track. Then you give to somebody, hey, have you heard this song? Obviously, with you and me, we've been in the Christian rap world for a long time, so we know when Lecrae was doing it since the early 2010s. He got a lot of flack on it. The conversations have been ongoing because he's done those secular collabs, and I've always seen it, and I've always used them as a way to break ground with people and start the conversation with people, and I found good success in doing that. But people seem to have an issue with it. What are your thoughts on this Christian secular collaborations? And
So no, I don't blame you, bro. Because it's nothing new under the sun, right? Like I mean, early 2000s, 2010s. I remember that with Lecrae. I remember when Nicki and
Tasha Cobbs
did a thing.
Yep. Even back then,
let me say this: I don't have an issue with a Christian doing collab with a secular artist either, and that's primarily because typically when you've seen that happen, the Christian artist doesn't lose their authenticity. Like I've never seen Kirk or Lecrae go do a collab with like a Zaytoven or whatever, and they're cussing in the song. Like, or even that the other artists themselves is half of the song, the other artist is cussing. Like, which I think even clues you in on that there's clarity that this song is meant to glorify something that is not in your other song. I think just in that regard, for me, I've always kind of thought it's dope, and I've always thought actually it's even harder to maintain your authenticity within the world. So I have no issue with it. I think what I've been thinking about too lately has been, I wonder, because I know particularly now, like I feel like the phenomenon I'm seeing in Christianity right now is this heavy desire for like truth and authenticity, right?
Yes.
Which I think is important. And so I think sometimes people now, particularly with Kirk, I think Kirk and like maybe some other artists, other Christians, that people often look at people like Kirk and they feel like, going back to the fruit checking thing.
Yes, sir.
They already look at Kirk as kind of sus. And then you look at Mav and Dante Bowie, that kind of came out of that, who was sus. They felt like he was sus, then he had the whole issue. Then he left, and then they weren't paying him. And so I do think there is a part where I think people are going to critique whatever. I think with Kirk and Mav, I've noticed, and I've had these same kind of struggles with Mav and Kirk, where at times, not struggles with their salvation, right? But struggles with, okay, kind of a wisdom issue thing.
Let's be honest, Q. Yeah. Sometimes they seem a little loose.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're
That's
right.
why it's very easy to jump on them when they do these things.
Yeah.
Because it's not, see, one thing I learned about people is that they will find something to have an issue with you about if they already don't like you.
Yes.